everyone, I'm Arlen Bento Jr. and welcome to the Shoot Parnell Golf Show with my co-host James Stammer.
Hey everybody.
And this is our weekly show where we bring you a little bit of the tour, a little bit about Shoot Parnell, the golf program that I run here in Stewart, a little bit about golf lessons. We just have a good time talking about golf. James and I have been doing stuff like this for 25 plus years, so we've got a lot of information to share. Hope you enjoy it. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor today. This is the Rapsodo Launch Monitor System. If you're looking for a good system to put into garage, basement, maybe you want to like clear out a guest bedroom and make yourself a little simulator man cave
maybe
or woman cave.
Yeah, maybe your kids are at the end of their senior year of high school. They're about to move,
throw their
away
stuff
and go to
out.
college next, come this summer. Here you go.
All you do is get one of this. It goes behind the heating area. You can play courses, get all your data. It's really great product. So thank you, Rapsodo. So pretty interesting week on the tour this week. I did get to watch the Genesis.
It was a bit different.
It was a bit different. So if a lot of you don't know, the tournament was supposed to be, is it still at Riviera?
Riviera in Los Angeles, yeah.
But because of the fires in Los Angeles, they had to move it to Torrey Pines, which we have in the background over here, just to let you guys take a look at it. But so that's Torrey Pines, 2 events in the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, about the last 3-4 weeks, yeah.
Yes, because they had what was the one? The
Phoenix was in between, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was I watched it. It was a great tournament. I thought the course looked great. And so the Genesis,
which is a testament to how good the
crew, the superintendent and the crew to be able to flip it back that quick. Because I'm
stress out a golf course to get it ready for the pros.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure they had to tear it all down and put it all back up again, right? Because they had to. They never left all the stuff up.
I think they left the grandstands, though. They just changed all the signage.
If they did, they were smart because that was maybe a backup plan. But I thought the course looked great.
Yeah, it did.
So Genesis is a Tiger Woods tournament.
Correct.
And unfortunately, he didn't play because he's still coming back from some stuff.
Yeah.
But he was on site. He did a lot of the commentary. So he was very involved with the tournament, which is always kind of cool. And I think, don't you think for the tour players to win Tiger's tournament's like a big deal to them?
It is.
Yeah. Because I think it's like.
And a lot of them came out and said, we're disappointed he wasn't able to play, but we're really happy he's here.
Yeah.
It's nice to see him. And they understood that, due to some of his physical problems.
Sure.
But more so because of his mother's passing.
Right.
That was the main reason why he was not playing this week.
Yeah, and I think for him and his family, Tiger was so close to his mom. And she was such an integral part of his upbringing and life. I don't know if people know how Tiger was brought up, but his dad, Earl Woods, right, was this really good golfer. I think he was like a 6 or an 8. I don't think he was like a scratch, like pro type player, but he was good.
Was a single digit. He was a good mid-single digit.
Right, and he was an Army sergeant, very disciplined, made Tiger work really, really hard. And the mom, she was Thai. Mm-hmm. And so she kind of raised Tiger with her background. I think it was Buddhist, right? Where she would talk to him a lot about things like, his breathing and his spirit. And so I think what Tiger got from 2 of them, I've always said this, is he's got the drive from his dad. And I think his mom drove him a lot too, but I think the mom has always been that other side, like it'll be okay, like focus on this and do the right thing and, kind of build your game. And, but they say she was fiery though. Like she was a competitor. Like she wanted him to do well and was really like a part of a lot of his junior success.
I met her a couple times.
Oh, you did?
Of events, and she was no nonsense. She was small of stature.
Yeah, she's not a big lady. Yeah,
but she'd kick you in the rear end if you need.
I bet. And before we get into the tournament, I think when you look back at Tiger's history and how the mom and the dad, kind of brought him up, it was really like a perfect blend. So for those of you that have kids out there, make sure that you can't just be on them all the time. You're going to have to give them something else to like make it whole. Because I think a lot of families, when they have kids that are good at golf, they push, and they don't let the kid be a kid. And I think she did a good job, but obviously Tiger had some major talent.
And she was the reason for the red on Sundays.
And that's why his shirt brand or company is called Sunday
Red.
Yeah. So, Tiger was with Nike forever, right? I mean, the swoosh and Tiger were synonymous. And then I kind of dig his logo. Do you like it? The tiger, kind of like the silhouette
I
of it?
like the symbolism of it, the 15 stripes for the 15 majors. It's cool. I like logos. I mean, that's something that really intrigues me. Is what's behind it? What does it symbolize?
Well, that's what it's funny you say that, because when you look at it, like when I first saw it, it's kind of like, wow, kind of clip arty to me. Like it wasn't like something like the TW was like so tiger-esque, right? And then the tiger look, I get it, but I do like it. I think it's subdued. I think it looks good. I think it's a nice brand. So I'm sure it's doing well. It's Tiger Woods. How it's not gonna do well? Everybody, So anyway, but so back to the tournament. I thought it was a good field. There was a lot of guys hovering around. Justin Thomas was around. Scheffler was around. Had a couple bad holes. Finau was there. I think he ended up finished fourth. But some of the shots coming in, that last 18th hole, it made me think of Tim Cup.
Yeah.
It really did. So if you haven't watched Tim Cup, go watch it. But that last scene where, it's water and you got to cover it and, it's that kind of thing. But how about that 7-wood? We was talking earlier.
Just the fact that a pro carries
They're all carrying it.
And it shows you how these guys prepare for an event.
Yep.
For the next month or two, they might not carry a 7-wood.
Nope.
They know that on this course, there's a couple of holes that 7-wood is going to earn them a stroke or two on the field, and they're going to play it. They're going to put it in the bag, and they're going to play it. And it shows, they're not ashamed to say, "Hey, I had a 7-wood." It's all about dollars and less strokes and more dollars.
So the funny part is, right? So the 7-wood today is like a 5-wood. Because everything's like stronger lofted, and they're designed to hit the ball lower, low spin, low penetration, right? So that's what's happening with golf. And for some of them, the hybrid has always been a tricky club for pros. You know why? Because it's always had that look to it that kind of goes left. Because it's the fairway woods tend not to hook, but a lot of pros struggle with hooking hybrids. That's always been a problem with good players. So I think the 7-wood is an interesting club. I know it goes high. I was watching Dustin Johnson has a 7-wood, and he's hitting it like 240, or whatever, 250 with a 7-wood, some crazy number, because the 3-woods are going like 290, 280.
That should be illegal.
But so that last hole, Aberg, right, who won? So he's sitting in the middle. He hits a great drive on 18, right?
Striped it.
And he's 11 under par, right? So he's he's got a birdie to win, and he's sitting there. And I know he was in between clubs, because I think he was going 4-iron or 7-wood. He was in between, and he chose to hit the 7. I heard the announcer say he's going to have to cut this, and so he hits it right. And I
take a little bit off.
Oh my God! It wasn't that far from getting in big trouble though.
Yeah, no.
Like one more hop, and that's a really tough chip, because I don't know if everybody saw it, but
downhill, down green,
with a double break on it,
with water on the other side,
and it was like 60 something feet. But he rolled I think if you watch that putt, he was expecting it to break quite a bit, and it really flattened out.
It didn't. Yeah. He had some meat left on it to win,
and it was a very straight putt though. Yeah. I wouldn't have wanted to have the win putt if it had been on the other side playing curves, right? Because those short curvy putts, we know we've all missed those short curvy putts.
Yeah, you get a little anxious, you might ease it a little too much, and then it breaks too much, or you might give it a little bit more, and then it doesn't break enough at all. And it's like, I had a line, I had it read, the speed was one way or the other.
There's a little zigzag to that at the end. It gets a little nerve wracking, because we've watched a ton of golf, watch good players like miss little putts to lose or win, lose a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of little it's not always the straight. It's that slider. It's the one that just breaks hard at the end from 3 to 5 feet. That's just
3 to 5 feet, and you got to give the hole away.
Yeah,
that bothers them. That's something.
Everybody. It bothers everybody. I'm trying to think, man. I haven't made one of those for forever. I'm always like, oh God, I never. You play it doesn't break. You give it breaks. It's like that's one of the hardest things to do in all golf, where you got to give up the hole from a short distance. Speaking of putting, so I'm trying out. Cobra sent me new stuff. Okay. And Cobra's my sponsor, and Cobra Puma, and I'd like to thank them. But I'm trying an Armlock putter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
this will be interesting.
Yeah, it is. I don't quite know So I used to work. I helped when I was doing golf sales. I worked with Ben Nardi, and we were part of the group that helped make the putter for Matt Kuchar when he was like coming on board.
Mhm.
And so I ended up with that putter and a bunch of different ones. So I kind of went through that, and I know about it. I even did a couple videos about it years ago. But I'm trying to put it into my game, and I like it. Actually, it's right behind me. Let me grab it. So they sent it to me, and it's got this. The arm side's flat, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's supposed to lock here, but it's weird because to make this work,
You got to press it forward.
well, you have to. So the putter actually sits with 6 or 7 degrees of loft, and then when you push it forward with your arm bar, it kind of gets to where it's supposed to be. That's weird looking.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, that's. I can't say I've ever been comfortable. I've tried them.
Have you?
But I just can't get comfortable with the look. The look just. Something about the look of it.
When I got it, I love the look of this head, and I'm not a big giant fan of the giant mallets. I've never liked them. And this one has the lab putter face in it, the lab technology, that hot putter. But I practiced with it last week. It wasn't bad, but my lines are messed up, right? Because I'm used to looking at it the way I putt with a standard putter, and now I have to almost feel like it's like this. So I'm going to play around. I did make a putt with it the first time out, which was good. So I'm going to try it. But anyway, if you're struggling with putting, I think something like this could be beneficial. But you'll see more about this on my Instagram. So check out my Instagram, Arlen Bento Jr. And make sure you check out Jimmy's Instagram too. So yeah, that was a cool tournament to watch. I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was a fun tournament. And there was a lot of guys, coming down the stretch. It wasn't like somebody ran away with it.
Yeah.
So on any hole, anybody could have, anybody could have one double bogey, it would have flipped the whole board around.
Yeah, or got an eagle and flipped it the other way.
There were quite a few eagles too, because with 2 par 5s coming down the stretch.
2 par 5s coming down. There's
guys
3
were
par 5s on the back 9.
Yeah, so that was fun. Torrey Pines would be, a place I'd like to go check out. I never got a chance.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Just to go walk along the coast.
Yeah.
And look down off the cliffs and go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
I think it would, if you look on those bluffs and all those angles, it's amazing how much. California is so gorgeous on the coastal side. So, but that was pretty fun. So anyway, James has got some cool stuff. I think we should bring up. He got a chance to play, or did you actually play, or just get a chance to hang out?
Well, we hung out for a bit. He played a few holes with us.
Oh, you did get to play?
Yep.
So he went down and got to hang out with Alice Cooper.
Yeah, the Alice Cooper,
the Alice,
Rock and Roll Hall of Famer.
Famous rock and roll, and not a lot of people know. Really good golfer.
Very good golfer. He carries about a 4 handicap now. Used to be a scratch golfer. One of the things he said to me years ago when I first met him was, who'd have thunk that I'd be my club champion at some, because I've always loved golf, but I never thought I would have been good enough. And he was good enough to win his club championship out in Arizona.
Can you believe him showing up with his with all the dark and the makeup? I mean, I wonder if when you met him, he looked like Alice Cooper, right?
Yeah, he didn't have all the makeup on, and he didn't have a snake with him and all that. But
I wonder what he looks like. I've seen some videos of him playing golf. He looks like Alice Cooper. Like he still has the eyeliner, and I think that's his look. I wonder what he looks like without everything. Like if he just showed up with his hair pulled back and no makeup, and just would he look like normal?
I mean, some people didn't recognize him on the golf course when we were there.
Yeah, because he doesn't have all his garb on.
He had his hair pulled back, and a hat on. And,
he kind of looked like a normal guy.
And he's,
Yeah. So how many holes did you get to play with him?
We played he bounced around between a few groups on the front 9.
Yep.
So we got about 3 holes, 3-4 holes.
So you watch him hit it?
Yeah.
How was it?
It's the ball pretty good.
Yeah.
It's the ball pretty good. He's got a bag full of hybrids.
Yeah, tell me about the hybrids. You were telling me.
He's got the new Callaway Elite.
Okay.
He's got an entire set of those, but so
you got the woods and fairways, but all hybrid.
All like a hybrid type wood. Even his pitching wedge is a hybrid type look to it.
Yeah.
And he says it's just so easy to hit it. And he doesn't get a lot of club speed anymore.
Because he's older. He's in his 70s.
He's 77 years
old.
old.
Oh, God bless him.
And
why not?
Loves golf. Says he plays it pretty much every day.
Yep.
He's got a house in Scottsdale, Arizona, and his other house is in Maui.
Okay.
So he's between the two.
Pretty good rotation.
When he's not touring, and when he is touring,
he's still touring.
And when he is touring,
oh my goodness,
Callaway sets up all his
golf for him.
They know where he's going to be. They set him up. All he's got to do is go there, the day, they arrive in town, they're going to play that night or the night after, and he knows he's going to go play golf, and then they're going to go rehearse and
do his thing.
He's going to do his
Pretty
thing.
good life. Why not do it, right? If Callaway's taking care of him. I've seen him in some commercials with them.
Yeah,
but that must have been fun. That must have been cool.
He said one of the commercials that they shot for Callaway, he had a snake.
Yep.
He says, and the whole idea, he says, I was going to hit this putt, and it was going to hit the snake. It was going to turn along the snake and go in the hole.
Snake didn't probably want to stay there.
He goes, so we're thinking, man, what are the odds the snake's going to want to do this or whatever? He says, and he says, so the first putt I hit, it didn't work out very well. He goes, but the second one went right in the hole. He goes,
there it is.
We're good. We're good. Let's go play now.
I'm going to find that video. I bet that's a cool video. I never saw him with the snake. So he bounced it off the snake and went in.
Yeah. Yep.
That was always an interesting thing to like have somebody, and again, it's so like not in the golf world. Yeah. I think that's what makes golf cool, doesn't it? Like there's a lot more people that play golf that we don't even recognize sometimes that love it. Like I was watching Cat Williams, the comic, and kind of controversial comic, but I was watching him on somebody's podcast, and he was when you talk about golf, he gets serious. But what cracked me up, the podcast person said, so what do you play from, the back tees? He goes, heck no, I play from the reds, he says. Reds. He said, I play from the reds. I know my limitations. He got that southern kind of accent thing. And he said, no, I play from the reds because my goal is to shoot par. I can't shoot par from the back tees. I can't shoot par from the white tees. I don't hit it very far. So I just like to hit it and get on that green and try not to three putt. And I want to shoot par. So I have no illusions of where I play. I play golf because I love golf. I just thought it was great because I was talking about my shoot par now system, right?
Okay.
And I've got a lot of people in classes now, and it's so interesting because I'll take beginners, right? And they're so nervous about golf because there's all these things in their head from, it could husbands, boyfriends, family members, right? Mm. All of the rules, and you got to play from here and make sure you tee up behind here and count that. Yeah. And you know what? I say, look, you don't have to do all that when you learn to play. You really don't.
No.
And those of you that follow my Shoot Par Now program, it's based on starting close to the hole and working your way back. So I start a lot of these beginners, and we're playing 100 yards, and they're teeing up a 7-iron in the middle of the fairway, and they're hitting the ball up by the green, and they're chipping on, and they're trying to two-putt, and we're just playing. And every time they make a 4, I let them move back to 150. And if they mess up, they go back to 100. So they're learning how to move around. So I was thinking, like someone like Cat Williams, who realizes that his best golf is played at the forward tees, right? But most people would never do that because the stigma of that's where women, and that's ridiculous, right? Honestly, I think I've said this many times. I feel like the red tee, if you want to call it, the ladies' tee box should be up quite a bit more because, most of lady players that I coach, now again, some hit further, but a good drive is about 130 to 150 yards. Okay, that's a good drive for a lot of the people I help bring into golf. Well, the par 4 is 300 yards.
Yeah.
They hit a good drive, they still have drivers.
They're still hitting another driver, which is not as much fun.
No, it's wrong.
You're no longer enjoying the game.
Correct. And so, guys, for me, I get to play, I can play the white or I can play the blue, but I can still hit it 250 pretty easily, a little more sometimes. But I'm playing a hole that's 350. Right? So if I hit a good drive on hole number 1 in my course, I have small wedge, right?
Yeah.
And they're hitting the best drive they have, and they have another driver. That's like me making that hole 500 yards. I'm never going to make a 4. I mean, I'd have to chip it close, right?
Yeah.
So I always tell my lay players, or even any beginner player, don't fret the tee box. So most of them should play about 200 yards. So they hit a drive 130, 150. They have 60 to 80 yards in. Yeah. They can hit a wedge pretty up there and maybe a 9, and they can play. But that's where most people should be learning how to play. So that's what I call shoot par now. Don't spend your whole life never making a 4 and a par 4 because it's too long. You wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's go play golf. We're going to play a golf course. It's 8,000 yards.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, it's no fun.
Yeah.
But a lot of women get kind of pulled into that longer tee box, and again, it's just that I feel like there should be another set. I think there should be like a yellow and a green, And I think it shouldn't be like gender per se. It should be more like how far do you hit it.
Yeah.
So if you hit it 200, right, your best tee box would be red.
Yeah.
But the ego says, I don't want to play red, so let's make that green and and put the red up here. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just mental, right?
Yeah.
But you and I would have a fair match if you played like a green tee and I played a blue tee.
Yeah.
The handicap.
We'd wind up in a similar spot out in the fairway.
We would. Well, and again, you might be a little closer if you hit it good, because if you only hit it 200, you shouldn't hit your wedge as long as I hit my wedge or a pro or somebody, right? So I feel like golf could have been constructed a little better if you had more tee boxes based on how far you hit it, not based on, how you play golf and here's a 35 handicap for 30 years. That drives me nuts, by the way. I don't, every time.
I've had a few places where we've been in a starter, we'll ask you, how far do you hit your normal drive?
That's unusual. That's a good course. That's a well-trained starter.
Well, okay, I hit it 2.25. Okay, you should be playing
here
this set of tees.
That's exactly correct.
And some people are like, oh no, I'm not playing that.
That's exactly wrong.
Well, I remember.
I want the whole golf course. I want to feel what the pros feel.
I've got a buddy named one of my buddies, Rocco, wants to play from the back tee
all the time,
and we kid him all the time. It's like, oh, we're not playing from the Rocco tees on this hole. But he's like, well, that's where the architect wanted you to play from. If you were really darn good.
Yeah, like scratch or single digit with a 280 drive.
I don't want to play back there and shoot 100. No, that's no fun to me.
It is not no fun. And speaking of 100, let me. So last week you were under the weather. So we shot the show with my son George, and interesting. So if you haven't watched Scruffy to Scratch, it's pretty interesting. But there won't be a show this week because he's out. He's got some time off. But I'm going to post the Scruffy to Scratch from last week. Will be on this week. But anyway, he got to play his first 18 holes where they tried to keep every shot.
Okay.
And he's got his best friend who plays well. They hit good, right? But I kept trying to tell him because they're telling me he's shooting low 80s, and I'm like, guys, like, I don't see it, guys. Like, I don't think you're counting the scores.
Yeah.
So anyway, they went to play.
You're counting everything.
Yeah, and one guy barely broke 100, and George didn't. Okay, and he was so disappointed, right? And I said, how many penalties you had? He goes, 11.
11 penalty strokes.
Yeah, so I said, you played pretty good.
Yeah.
Because if you hit 11 bad shots into penalties, right, you could have easily shot low 90s or better, right? So the question is, why did you hit into the trouble? And he said, I left my face open, which we've been working on. I said, did you work on what we were working on? He says, no, I just played it. Right? So instead of like trying to square the club up like we've been working on, he actually went to do what everybody else does, which is aim left and try to
compensate for where it's going today. Yeah.
But that doesn't work either, right? Now I messed him up because when we played, I went back to cut, and my cut was a little loose, but I hit every fairway. My cut was a little too much more than I want it to be, but it was in the fairway on every hole. It just wasn't as long because the cut doesn't go. And I was telling him I was just trying to find my feels, right? So I hope I might have screwed him up because he might have watched me play, cut fade all day and hit every fairway and went, I should just play that shot. And I don't want him to play that shot. I want him to stand square and hit it solid and hit it straight.
Yeah.
He's young, he's strong.
And mush it, yeah.
Yeah. So I always kind of like start off playing like a lot of movement and then I tighten it up. I play my best golf when I can tighten up my fade that kind of looks like maybe 10, 15, 20 yards movement, and I start getting fives, I can play good. But I always have to kind of start with motion. I never have been good at playing with us draw. I always tend to when I try to draw, I can draw it, but I tend to hook my draw. My draw turns into hooks. So I've always played left to right. And again, when I was younger and I was stronger, it was easier for me to play. But so anyway, we're having fun with it. But I
saw Jack play.
A lot. You go watch on tour. Everybody who tees off, I didn't see hardly any drives that were not fades this weekend. Everything is high fadey, right? But they're hitting it, 320 with that. My fade doesn't get to 250 because it goes, boop, but it works.
Yeah.
From where I get to play from, I'm still.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm hitting a lot of mid irons, but anyway, I'll figure that out. But it's just interesting watching him go through his learning curve, and really, I give him credit for really trying hard to count every single shot and get a relist.
It's tough.
It is hard.
Really is.
Yeah. And I still think they missed him because I think it's really hard. That's why I was saying, I told him this story, and I don't know if I shared this with anybody, but this is before I turned professional. This was like, I was probably like a 6 handicap, and I was shooting like breaking 80 a lot. And I signed up for this in Hawaii, this Hawaii State Hawaiian thing, and it was at the club I grew up, and blah. I thought, I'm going to play great. You know, I shot the first opening round, 108. I went 108 on a course that I break 80 on almost all the time. And I came in, and it was kind of like big news back then because I was the basketball guy playing golf, you know?
Yeah.
And it was on like the front page of the paper. Like
shows you how much different
I know
tournament competition
I took so much
versus...
slack for that. And then I think the next day I shot like 81, so I kind of redeemed myself the second day. But of course, you know, that's not going to do anything. Yeah. But I remember coming home and being just, what the heck, you know?
What just happened?
Yeah, and no one was there to help me at the time. And then I learned over time, it's just tournament golf is hard. So anyway, he'll find out because he'll get better. He'll get better this week. He actually had a good practice session, but we're enjoying that. So check out Scruffy the Scratch. And if you're interested in Shoot Parnell, just go to shootparnell.com. Sign up for the newsletter. You'll get 3 free videos from me. And then that'll open up into like things you can do. Online learning app. You can take a few lessons online. If you're local, you can, of course, come to lessons here or lessons at the golf course. We're at the Saints, but, you know, it's kind of how we do our whole thing. Anything else cool coming up? Do you know of golf-wise, locally? It's kind of quiet. It's just
Cognizant is in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's true.
This week they're in Mexico. And the following week, they will be right down the street here in Palm Beach Gardens.
Are you got anything going on? Are you gonna go?
I'll be heading out there for the practice round. I like going out for the practice round.
No events or people lined up right now?
No, not at the moment. No.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got away from like paying attention to that. I could probably make a couple calls and get some passes to go, but I'm busy, man. I'm not gonna go walk around for a day when Academy's flying like crazy. This is my time of year where we make our money. So
I went down last year and hung out with Jake Knapp. Jake had just won his first event at Mexico. So it was an interesting story, hanging out with him that whole practice round day and watching him get ready for the event. Talked to his caddy, and I asked his caddy. I said, how was that Sunday round down in Mexico? Because it was nail biting.
I don't have any recollection.
He couldn't hit a fairway. His caddy looks at me and goes, I was terrified. He says, all I wanted him to do was hit it in the fairway. We couldn't buy a fairway.
We just talked about that, like with me and everybody.
He was waiting for he's like, I just kept waiting for the shoe to drop. Sooner or later, we're going to hit it in some kind of trouble we can't get out of, and this is all going to end. And it didn't. He just
flipped it around all day.
He found a way to hang on and win the event. And
that's amazing.
He said it was just
ugly.
He goes, it was just the most terrifying day of my life
because it was so bad.
Because you're caddying, you're not hitting any of the shots.
Yeah, how do you line them up and tell them what club to pick if you can't barely find the face, right? So he's just scraping around like a tin cup, like qualifier.
Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yep. I don't follow him. I guess I don't know who he is, but I know the name. I've heard it, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah, real super nice guy.
So he's
real young.
So what did he do last year at the Honda? Did he have a good week?
Yeah, pretty good week. I think. I know he was in contention.
Not Honda, Cognizant.
Well, the Cognizant now. Yeah, it was the Honda for 30 some years. It's kind of hard not to call it.
I know, right? That's what we know it as. But that's down the road from us. So we're up in Stewart, and my academy's up in Port St. Lucie, a little bit north, and then that's in Palm Beach Gardens, which is 20 miles from here.
Yeah,
if that.
Half an hour tops too.
So if you're watching the show locally and you've never had a chance to go watch tour players, that's a really good tournament. And it's a good venue too. There's lots of room to walk. They do a nice job with the corporate stuff. The 18th hole is the bear trap is famous. PGA National is known for the bear trap, where the last finishing holes come in because there's some tough shots. Oh, yeah. They always hit it in the water on that par 3, and they always hit it in the water on the par 5.
And if you're 15 and under, you get in free with a paying adult.
How good is that?
If you're active military, you get in free. If you're retired military and all, I think they've either got discounts or free. They have what they call a Patriot Outpost, which is sponsored by Patriot, and they have drinks, food, everything else, all included for our military heroes and their families.
So if you're here in Florida and you're looking for something to do 2 weeks from now, I forgot what the date is. You know what it even is off the top of your head? So I guess it would be like it's the first weekend of March. Yeah.
Yep. Well, yeah. Yep.
So go down and check it out. I'm sure tickets are online. I don't even know what Cognizant is. I hate to say it. Do you know what it is? It's a financial company,
I can't
or
really say. I think it is. It's either financial or payroll type.
I hope they're not watching our video. They'll be like, those crazy guys. Hey,
we know the name. We just don't.
give us a call. We'll talk about it. We'll learn it. Well, hey, if you want to sponsor a show, let us know. We're here. So anyway, that's going to wrap us up for this week. I hope you enjoyed our Shoot Par Now Golf Show. Please like and subscribe, and there's some links in there if you're interested about some of the things that we talk about. And if you get to Instagram, check out James Stammer. Yours is
Stammer Golf.
You got an underscore though.
No, it's
just
at Stammer Golf.
Stammer Golf. Yep. Mine is Arlen Bento Jr. Instagram. Check us out, follow us, and we look to see you next week. Thank you for watching.
Bye, everybody.